Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show today. What is today? Thursday, January 12th. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. You're hanging out with us live on the John Doe Radio Show, live.johndoeradio.com or www.johndoeradio.com/live. Or you could be over at our friend's place, live.normal.org. What up to everybody hanging out over there? Good to see our good folks over there. And big thanks and much appreciation to our folks over there. So hopefully everything is going fantastically with everybody listening. If you are not listening to us live, it's a good chance you're listening to us from our website, johndoeradio.com, or it's on iTunes that you're checking us out. Make sure you do not miss either one of those if you've missed anything from the John Doe Radio Show. So, going to have an awesome show for you today. Coming up in just a few, we have MMAPA, Medical Marijuana Assistance Program, is going to sit down and talk about the situation that is going on with the patients here in Colorado and a whole bunch of other good stuff. The legislative session has started currently here in Colorado and other places, and I see him right now. He's walking in. Legislative session has started here in Colorado specifically, and I know it's, I think that's about that time of year. We start thinking about that across the country for everybody. And why don't you sit right there? Is that cool, Phil? We sit right there, or do you want him right here? How about you actually, do you want to sit right here? That might get a better shot. Phil, don't ever feel shy to boss anybody around for a good shot. If you need to be producer, man. What's going on, buddy?
Doing well, Tim. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic, dude. So let's tell the people a little bit about yourself, who you are, what it is that you do.
My name is Miguel Valdez. I work with MMAPA.
By the way, if you hear that go out like that, that's just me turning towards you and the headset going out. We got to get this $5 replacement that we can't find. This multi-connector headphone thing.
That must be so damn frustrating.
You'd think that they have it in a million places, but they just don't. I could rig it. We just, been trying to make sure that we catch up with bills. I've been trying to make sure I keep a roof over my head. But Miguel, continue. Sorry.
So, with the Medical Marijuana Assistance Program of America, helping patients with the cost of medical marijuana throughout different centers throughout the state of Colorado. And right now what we're doing is trying to address the problems with the CDPHE and the rejections and denials that have been going on.
Always been problems with the CDPHE, man. Why we always got to be dealing with the CDPHE and their issues, dude. Trying to cut us off all the time. I remember I always go back to the July 2009 big meeting at Tivoli that we had, I mean, everybody I think that has been around for a while remembers that 2009, and that seems like it was so far ago, but it really isn't that far ago. I mean, 2009 just seems like yesterday, but you remember when they were trying to take the caregiver ships away from where they make caregivers, basically do other things, which they ended up getting anyway here when, 1284 passed through.
I'll be honest, I was out of state when that happened.
But you do remember that meeting, though?
No, I was completely out of state, as in I was in Florida.
So you don't even remember that meeting? See, I'm telling you that.
Well, it's new information.
Yeah, man, see, but
history.
Then you weren't around at that time. But the people that were around here at that time would fully recognize that as a time that, not only did we have a huge battle won at that point against the health department, and we had fended them off, basically telling caregivers that they couldn't do this, that marijuana was, just this whatever thing, that basically them wanting caregivers to bathe or feed and do all this other stuff. Anyway, it was sort of insulting in that way that they presented it, and it made it seem like they were going to basically almost decimate, at the time, the medical marijuana system in Colorado. Would have limited, all the caregivers and people that grow marijuana like it is now. It's only 5 patients. And this was right before the big boom of dispensaries and all that. So, I mean, it was really, really, really big, important point in our time, and we won and we fended that off. But it was also right after that just everything kind of went away as far as grassroots activity here in Colorado. And don't get me wrong, we still have one of the strongest grassroots programs in the nation. But when it compares to before July of that 2009 meeting, it really she's shaking her head. It's like, yep. Who else do we have in with this?
Well, this is a Christine Lunsford who works with the National Cannabis Industry Association and has been instrumental in the new Dixie Botanicals line, and which includes solves, bath salts, and other forms of things for patients so that they can have different. Yeah, I was wondering what happened there.
Sorry, the thing is so annoying, isn't it? It happens every show, and just it's like you got a bad
am I still on the air?
Yeah, you're like, am I still on? Anyway,
but they specialize in different forms of treatment outside of smokables and edibles. Huh? That way, patients who are looking for different forms of treatment have an alternative. And besides that, she is my secret lady lover. I love you, Christy.
Love you, Miguel.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have, because I've wanted to have somebody from NCIA on for a long time, and it's great to have you because your name is a big name around here.
It absolutely is. We're the only.
Here, let me scoot that up, flatten that out for you.
NCIA is the only national organization working as a trade association and working on banking and taxation issues on the federal level.
Yeah.
And if, as an industry, the medical marijuana companies can get the federal level to listen to our needs as business owners, we can do, in turn, a better job helping patients.
Yeah, and especially the banking issue, such a frustrating, and I mean that's one of many words. Again, I mean, it can decimate a company, with them not being able to bank and do the things that they need to do, and that's important. And it's good to see. There's a lot of people out there that see that support, see what you guys are doing is good, but then there's also a section, I think, here and other areas that kind of push up against that and kind of are sort of against the regulation of what we've come into. And in my own personal opinion, I've come from a spot where, like, don't touch my cannabis, to totally completely understanding that now that this is here and that it's not a completely like full fist flying fight, it's gotten a little bit better. That we have to realize that this is just like any other product, just like anything else out there, that we need to have addressed that same way. We need to have people like yourself in the positions to lobby and to educate and to also help regulate the situation, and then be part of a larger organization that can help assist all that. So that's kind of addressing some of the feedback that I get from the large organizations and stuff. And it's not like I'm trying to kiss your butt either. I just think it's important that an organization like yours, just like I think Miguel's organization, exists because it builds on what we're all trying to do.
Absolutely. And membership is really key. National Cannabis Industry Association works on a very small budget as a nonprofit, which is one of the reasons we paired with MMAPA to do the Ganja Gala.
We haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah. So, but what we're doing on a national level is extremely important. And in just a year, to have over 100 members nationwide. These are collectives in California, Oregon, hopefully soon Arizona, medical marijuana centers in Colorado, as well as all kinds of ancillary businesses, law offices, people like MMJ Freeway support NCIA, and all of that money goes to lobbying at the federal level for business needs like fixing the banking issue with the Treasury and getting the IRS to work with us, and eventually getting this 280E taxation issue taken off the books. So medical marijuana providers can pay their payroll taxes, have bank accounts, and work like any other state legal business.
And it's so key because for us and over at MMAPA, we need the medical marijuana centers in order to provide the discounted cannabis for patients and for our MMAPA members, which is why we saw how vital it was to support NCIA on their efforts, because if a business can't stay open because no one is at the federal level lobbying for these changes to tax codes or to inform congressmen about why they should be supportive of medical marijuana, then everyone goes and just gets crapped on, for lack of a better term. Everything starts to break down, which is why when Christy came up to us and said, I wanted to help with the Ganja Gala, I said 100%, absolutely. And so that's what we've been working on for about 2 months now. And it's coming to fruition. We just got a confirmation from the Westward that we'll be having 2 quarter-page ads inside the actual Westward magazines to promote the event, which is going on Friday, January 27th.
And the Westward is we have William Breeds here. We like to have William Breeds here every Friday, and wish that he does show up every Friday. Dude's busy dude. He's invited every Friday, and so we sit down and talk with him. And so the people familiar with William Breeds and his Mile Highs and Lows column and the Westward Latest Word should be just comfortable with Westward itself, and they're a huge support and huge, more so than anything. What's that?
Beneficiary?
That's true too. That's hugely true, very much true, and but we all appreciate that, because with that has come a voice, and it's a voice that it's quiet without the bed. Now we can actually hear the plane overhead.
I was jamming out to the music, man. I had my fingers tapping out over here down on my seat, so I was just going. Oh.
We're gonna head to a commercial here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the gala more and what you guys are doing and all that awesome stuff. So, but no, it's very interesting, everything that's going on in the industry. All the interesting people that are inside of it, and the interesting events that are going on, and just everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment in our industry. If we can bless that.
Sometimes we can bless that. Sometimes not so much, man. I heard today that the shoot, I probably shouldn't repeat that. I don't know. Anyway, I heard that there's a story that was being dug through the Westward today. So
we'll get to that, I guess, in a bit.
Somebody called the Westward saying something, and anyway. There's just God. Why can't anybody just get along?
So true.
Painfully true.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this one there. I was gonna go with it at the beginning of the show, and now that I realize I am on the normal network, I'm playing ball, but I'm not playing t-ball here, so I'm not going to completely tee off on them. Rare Dankness seeds at raredankness.com, available at select vendors around the state of Colorado. Some of the most coveted and sought after genetics with the twist that patients have available to them. In fact, the award-winning now, Cannabis Cup award-winning Rare Dankness seeds. Make sure you check them out with their Moonshine Haze. I'm sure that strain is going to be available very, very soon in the locations that you can find Rare Dankness, which are Southwest Alternative Care, the Jerry Company, Pro Company, and Teapot specifically. Many other shops also that carry Rare Dankness seeds, so check that out. And if you need to give them a call and you want Rare Dankness seeds inside your shop, all you got to do, go to raredankness.com and send them an email, or call them 970-812-DANK. That's 970-812-DANK. We'll be right back here, continue some conversation, and talk about this awesome gala that's going to be happening, and hopefully I get to attend.
Definitely.
Good times.
Need you there.
It's the John Doe Radio Show. Check us out. If you missed anything, johndoeradio.com. Play.
You're listening to the John Doe Radio Show.
Mad Hatter Smoke Shop has got your high-quality, American-made, unique pieces and some of the best scientific glass available anywhere. Artists and companies like Mike Fro, Cowboy, Zob, Royal, and D-Rock with some of the best products the Mile High State has to offer. Treehouse, Joel Halen, Worm, Tricky, and more. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop also carries Sheldon Black, one of the highest names in glass standards. Don't miss out on the Holy Water Style Collection either. Our friend John Waters offers his line of shirts, jackets, hats, bikes, and skateboards for men and women. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop for everything the JDR Army needs. Mention JDR or John Doe Radio and get 20% off. 20%! Visit MadHatterSmokeShop.com or email store@MadHatterSmokeShop.com for inquiries. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, 6091 West Colfax Avenue in Denver, 303-953-7015. Store at MadHatterSmokeShop.com, 6091 West Colfax Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 303-953-7015. Under Pink House Blooms, you will find some of Colorado's most respected and popular cannabis centers, including the Cherry Company at 111 Madison Street, the Pearl Company at 1445 Pearl Street, and the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal. You have heard the amazing products available from Nika T and his solventless wax and hashes from his appearances on John Doe Radio, and now you get to know about the amazing ISO hash made by our good bud Stephen Lewis. This ISO wax cannot be beat, and I challenge you to find a better product. But not only are the products great, but just as I need in my personal caregiver, the service is friendly and personable too. Pink House Blooms and its stores are proud to carry essential extracts, rare dankness, and hoodlum and vector products. All stores are open from 10 to 7 every day, with daily specials like Tuesday, 2-for-1 joints, Warehouse Wednesdays, where they weigh all Pink House grown meds at 4-gram eighths all day long. Thursdays, buy one edible, get the other half off, and Sundays, let's just say they make it rain. And remember, industry employees get a discount at patient pricing. The Cherry Company on 111 Madison Street, 303-399-6337. The Pearl Company at 1445 South Pearl Street, 303-733-6337. And the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal, 303-656-9697. Pink House Blooms. Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center in Denver has some of the most affordable prices anywhere. Don't believe us? Call them 303-953-0295. That's 303-953-0295. Or just head down and visit them. Trust us. Located at 2301 7th Street, Unit B, across from the Denver Aquarium. Great people who care about a fine selection of meds and a wide variety of extracts from top shelf extracts. With daily specials like Monday Madness with premium strain specific joints for only $1 when they're normally $3. Wax Wednesday with all wax for $15 a gram when normally $20 a gram. And during the NFL playoffs, Platte Valley is running a special on select ounces for just $125 and select $15 eighths, not bottom shelf strains either. You didn't miss what I just said. $125 ounces and $15 select eighths, not bottom shelf strains either. Don't miss one of the busiest and most convenient dispensary locations in Denver, Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center, located at 2301 7th Street, Unit B, 303-953-0295. And until January 15th, everyone gets patient prices at $25 eighths and $150 ounces. Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center.
John Doe Radio.
Live on the John Doe Radio Show. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Check us out, JohnDoeRadio.com. If you missed anything, the podcast available for download, or you can also now get it on video. We got our good buddy Phil, who is filming everything, and now it is, if you go to JohnDoeRadio.com, right below the podcast, we have a fantastic video for you to view of that podcast. Something that has been suggested for quite a while. And finally just getting together. I thank Phil hugely for being able to put that together for us. We got Miguel from Medical Marijuana Assistance Program of America. How you doing, buddy?
Howdy.
Well, I thought I got your mic there. Damn it. I did it again. I always miss the mic, man.
No worries about it, man.
And Christine from NCIA, which is the
National Cannabis Industry Association.
National Cannabis Industry Association, which basically business association and also, lobbyist group, sort of?
Yeah, we lobby the Treasury.
Go ahead and...
We lobby the Treasury and the IRS on specifically taxation and fair banking practices for the medical marijuana industry.
Yeah.
And basically, so many medical marijuana centers and infusion companies here in Colorado don't have access to banking. They don't have checking accounts. They can't pay their payroll taxes. And if you're so busy worrying about what your banking system is and how you're supposed to pay your taxes, how can you focus on giving good patient care? So NCIA is a national organization dedicated to working in Washington, D.C. on these very important issues. And we have paired with the Medical Marijuana Assistance Program of America to put on a really amazing anti-prohibitionist event called the Ganja Gala. And the
definitely go right into that.
The Ganja Gala is going to be Friday, January 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. The lovely people down at Lavish Lounge on 1448 Market Street have offered up their beautiful facility to allow us to have this event. And it is a 20s themed fundraising event. We will have Prohibitionist-era cocktails, tasting stations, which such uninfused treats from notables like Dixie Elixir.
Sexy pizza as well.
Sexy pizza as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to Kayvon and the crew out there for getting on board. And we'll be having a DJ playing music from the 20s and 30s as well as current dance music as well. And it's amazing how you can cut a rug to the old stuff as well as the new stuff. We'll also be featuring the William C. Woodward VIP Speakeasy. This is something that we've done to add an education piece to the event. In 1937, William C. Woodward of the American Medical Association, he was a doctor, and he testified before Congress in opposition to the Marijuana Tax Acts, which was the first national cannabis prohibition law. Dr. Woodward and the AMA stood in support of cannabis medicines and opposed the act, which was written without any input at all from the nation's medical community or hemp farmers. And this law was eventually approved by Congress at the behest of marijuana and cannabis prohibition forces. So the VIP area is to honor Dr. Woodward's dedication to medical cannabis in the early 1800s. And as well to add an educational focus to the event. So it's going to be a good time for everyone. It's a party to be sure, and it's cocktail or 1920s dress.
Nice.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, there's a costume shop off of South Broadway that people have been stopping by and just picking up all the beads, all their clothes.
Flossie McGrew, I think that is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
And that I'm going to be stopping by there to go and pick up my costume. I got to go ahead and learn the Charleston as well.
Oh, I can teach you
Man.
the Charleston.
Sweet.
That would be really cool to get dressed up and, get all just out for the night, man, and have a good time.
Absolutely. It was an amazing time in American history. Women were cutting their hair for the first time ever. The skirts went from ankle length to just below the knee. And
Scandalous.
It was scandalous for sure, much like what we're going through today with working on issues surrounding medical marijuana.
And in fact, the prohibition kicked in for alcohol, but the cannabis was still completely legal for both recreational and medical use at that time.
Interestingly enough, yes, when alcohol was legalized, cannabis was immediately taken off as both a medicine and a plant. And it was actually cannabis's second sister, hemp, which fueled that, because companies like DuPont, who were producing plastics, were competing with hemp materials. So it's interesting to see so much talk about hemp coming to the forefront as well as medical cannabis.
And it was interesting during that time that there were still people alive. There was people at the beginning and at the end of Prohibition that had seen it start and had seen it end, and you can't say that now. And that sort of. When we've talked about it before, and when people have mentioned it before, that helped play to the end of Prohibition. They saw, what it was before, and then, what we went through, and then ended it.
Exactly.
Which I think is a hurdle a huge hurdle that we have to get over today, especially when it comes to marijuana, because marijuana was bunched in with all these other drugs, and it's not even as bad as alcohol, and
we all know that fact. And I know, Christy, that you have to go ahead and depart in a second. So I wanted to say thank you for going ahead and stopping on by. But what website can they stop by?
We have two different places. You can go to www.ganjagala.com. Also, hit us up on Facebook. Just type in Ganja Gala, and we'd love to hear your thoughts about the events. General admission tickets are $50. All the funds go directly to 2 amazing nonprofits that support medical marijuana in Colorado and nationwide. So just want to give a big thanks out to John Doe Radio, and
Thank you.
looking forward to having you at the event.
Definitely going to be trying to make it down, and also people need to make sure that they check out the NCIA, and that's what website do they need to head to for that? The cannabisindustry.org.
Exactly. Hit us up at thecannabisindustry.org if you're a medical marijuana center owner, bud tender, ancillary business, or a patient. It's a great place to get medical cannabis news that has a nationwide eye to the future.
Yeah.
So we would love to have your support and look forward to seeing everyone at our inaugural Ganja Gala.
Awesome.
That's going to be great. Christy, thank you again so much for coming by, sweetie.
Yes.
Give me a hug.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate you. And anytime you want to come by, anytime that you have something to talk about, just give me a holler, an email, and we'll chat. We'll get you down here.
Okay, would love to be here again. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
She's got an iPad too. Man, jealous.
I know, man. I can see everyone's eyeballing that.
I sit on my laptop at night and I'm like, man, this is so old school. I'm like, this is like, I need to move on up. Thank you very much. Have yourself a fantastic day.
Take care, Christy. You know, it's for me, I just like being able to push the buttons. But jumping back to Christy as she's walking out the door, I love that lady so much. And she has just been so awesome, instrumental in getting that up and going, along with a bunch of other people. Canna Pages hooked us up with our design. Can Labs has been helping us out with sales. Kush Magazine provided us a space in their magazines to go ahead and promote the event. And there are other people that have just been, hey, how can we help you? And I love everyone for doing that. And so I'm really looking forward to this event, man, because it would be great to have an event where, one, Sublime is not being played. I have nothing against Sublime before I get hate mail. I'm just saying, I've just heard Santeria enough times in my life. I think I can know how the song goes. But also just having an event that can raise funds for not only our organization, NCIA, but, man, we go through so much in this industry. The people think that, it's all fun and games, and it's just brutal. And it'd be nice to just go ahead and let the proverbial hair down to go ahead and have fun at the event.
Yeah, no, it's this, and I think it's gonna definitely, like I said, I think it's gonna be a fun, good event. I think we're having issues with my live broadcast here. Sorry, so I don't seem too distracted. Everybody's gonna know that I'm gonna be slightly distracted. I'm trying to see if anyone.
No worries, man. I see you're switching over to the timeline.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to see if anybody had posted anything to say that they had, the broadcast was a little messed up. But that's all right. That's live, and we'll just go ahead and roll with the podcast.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, we always.
Bill O'Reilly, I love you, man. By the way, probably should talk with you after this, but let me talk to you after the show about a little bit more about the Ganja Gala and John Doe Radio.
Yeah, definitely. We would love to be working with you more, and I also had a few more things to talk to you about here with the assistance program. So what's going on with that? So here recently.
So right now, what we've saw is that the CDPHE right before the holidays kicked in, started to roll out the rejection letters and the denials for patients that were seen by either nurse practitioners, NPs, or by PAs, physician's assistants, that were seen under the supervision of a doctor. The way the CDPHE has interpreted is that the Constitution, Amendment 20, said that only a doctor can do a recommendation. The argument that the Department of Regulatory Agencies has provided to nurse practitioners and PAs was that there were laws created in 2009 to keep up with the current times. And these laws stated, one, doctors stating that if I have a PA under me, I can give them a set of jobs that I know they're fully qualified to do, and they can do my job in place of me.
Yeah. Hence
why you see PAs do medical marijuana evaluations.
Yeah, and I mean, PAs are... I hear stories all the time of PAs being able to do things that...
Think about it. When you visit the doctor, they take your pulse. They check your weight. They go and examine your ear and things of that nature that a doctor can go ahead and do. It was a thing that they did to go ahead as far as cost savings for their businesses. and also that doctors' time was very finite, and that's why they had PAs. And then from there, nurse practitioners could also go ahead and do so long as they were qualified and they were trained, they would be able to do tasks similar to a doctor. They are under a different regulatory structure than doctors and doctors and PAs. My friend Gay Ann, who is a nurse practitioner, she has been providing me with this information. And so this is the crux of the argument. The crux of the argument is that because these laws in 2009 were passed, it is not, I don't want to say, I'm not a lawyer, but what I'm trying to communicate is that the way the CDPHE has been rejecting PAs and NPs evaluations should not occur because of these laws passed in 2009. Now it becomes the question of, okay, recommendations versus prescriptions, because those are very key terms within the laws and everything like that. So that's been a very frustrating thing for not only MMAPA, but for patients, quite frankly, because I have established some rapport with some patients, and then I get a call from them. They're saying, holy crap, what the hell just happened? I went and saw so-and-so. They said everything was legit, and now my rejection letter came, or my denial came. And those have serious consequences. It's not just an inconvenience similar to a rejection letter. When you get denied, you can't get on the medical marijuana registry for 6 months. You have to go through an appeals process. So what we've been doing over at MMAPA has been providing information at our website so that people can visit there, know where the next steps are for them in order to either submit their paperwork once again, or to go to, or what forms to download. That way they can go to their denial appeals court. I'm sorry, I'm jumbling my words. The way they can appeal their denial with the CDPHE. And it's go ahead.
No, that's frustrating that they even have to go through that. Like, why?
Think about it. Last year, that we went through a similar situation where we had doctors up and go, and then it's happening for a second time. And as a patient, I can only imagine, why would I want to bother going through all these hoops and hurdles when I just want something to make my pain more manageable?
Yeah, that's something that I've mentioned a few times. Is just like it's been people that have been standing outside of dispensaries or cannabis center that have just been physically ill, and they're not allowed to go in and get their medicine and get the things that they need, and that's frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. It's insanity.
It's one of those things where if my mom wasn't listening, I would be using different words to describe it.
Hi, Mom.
Exactly. Tim, I'm going to skip the obligatory joke about moms here, so talk about my mom. But in any case, though, it's been a really, really terrible thing, because there are businesses that have seen that their patients are getting rejected and denied, and they have pretty much disappeared as medical marijuana evaluation centers. And you got patients that are sitting here saying, what the hell's going on? And nobody's getting back to them. Yeah. And I'm sitting here working with Mobile Doctors of America, and we're trying to go ahead and mitigate, trying to provide free evaluations for rejections for people who were seen by MDARX, and provide them with free evaluations for their rejections and for their denials. Yeah. But then you, of course, because you're sticking around, you're getting yelled at. And I can't blame them for yelling at me. In fact, I encourage it, because I'm sure if I was in their situation, I'd be equally pissed. Yeah. But I cannot stand people who come into the medical marijuana community, come in, make their buck, and roll out. Yeah. No, that's the frustrating part. But that's in dealing with, like what we were talking about earlier with the industry stuff, it's just part of what we're, we got to make sure that we solidify and have good people involved, and the ground floor level just set. And then there's going to be people that come in and out that are going that make the money, that come in and just leave, the fly-by-night operations, that's unfortunately something we have to deal with, not only with medical marijuana, but it's something we have to deal with in just everything in America, There's always going to be people looking for a quick buck, and I guess it's just a reality. It's
One of the frustrating parts of it is just healthcare, and bottom line is where things are, taken advantage of a lot. So it's all just frustrating. Everything good, Kim? All right, cool.
groovy.
Cool. Yeah, no, the healthcare situation in America is just so freaking frustrating that we have to deal with. The things that we do is just,
And we could definitely go on a long subject about that. It's just, it never really made sense to me why you would want to have your population remain sick when you rely on your people to provide goods and services for your economy. That just never made sense for me. If you have a healthy population where they can be taken care of for all their medical expenses without having to go bankrupt, then you have people who are only gone for, say, 3 days to go ahead and take care of an illness rather than for 3 weeks because their illness has grown by leaps and bounds. I mean, if I get the flu, I probably won't have the money to go and buy XYZ medicine, and I'm going to have to come to work, and then I might get other people sick. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
No sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it's frustrating, dude. It doesn't. It's just there's so many damn things that we've talked about here on the show with it, and it's great to see somebody out there actually doing something about it. I mean, because I've been talking about how we need to have an advocate. That there needs to be people out there that are advocating for these patients, and I was saying that it needed to be because of the lack of leadership. A lot of the time that I guess we see on the outside when we fail to look at organizations like yours, but then we have organizations like yours that take a little bit of time to get things together and to step up, but they're getting the ability to more and more be able to do that, get things together and step up. But it's frustrating if there's not that point to where there's that organization or that help, that side that's covered. Stupid headphones. When it comes from the state side, it's like there's advocates for, mental health advocates. There's different advocates in different situations, and it just feels like, and maybe they're getting these things into place for medical marijuana, but it just feels like there's not necessarily that advocate on that side that's for us here for medical marijuana. That gets frustrating.
Yeah, I attended.
Luckily, we got people like you.
And thank you very much for the kind words, Tim. And I think what it is that I attended the Act for Colorado meeting yesterday with Nick King from Alpine Herbal Wellness, and Matt Cook, our former head of the Department of Revenue Medical Marijuana Division, was there, and he was presenting, just talked a lot about perspective, talking about you got to look at the fact that you've been building this, and you're going to go through all these growing pains to have a regulated industry that is legitimized.
Yeah.
And it's no different for MMAPA, as we've been trying to build this organization from the ground up. And trust me, running into brick walls, tripping over your hurdles, going ahead and just makes you face palm yourself and just go, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
But with that, though, it's been a good growing process because you don't nail it on the first time ever, unless you're a complete badass like someone put insert name here.
Like me. No, I'm kidding. I'm the last on that list to do things right the first way, man. I slam my head through the brick wall every single time. It's so frustrating.
Absolutely. And so what we heard from our members was, 30, 40, 50% discounts. Thank you very much, but that's just not enough for my financial situation. So what we've done is recalculated the services so that it bumps up to 40, 50, 60%. And come February 1st, we'll have that in place so that members will get their discounts who are current members will get their discounts changed over automatically. And then from there, new members will be coming in and get reevaluated on a financially based criteria rather than looking at the state financials and also the state and federal programs. We figure that it mirrors more of what the Colorado Indigent Care Program provides. That way we're looking strictly at financial situations.
Because that's what Vince, when we first met him, when you first medical marijuana assistance program first came about, was one of the first things that we had talked with him about, was that if forming it basically to match up with the indigent care system. Jeez, can't talk.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to mirror, and we wanted to see how the program would work when using state and federal programs in it. We found that while helpful, we found that sometimes it was a hurdle for people, and that it was, I have to grab my paperwork or things of that nature. And for an indigent patient that is using the assistance of a walker or a wheelchair, that sometimes is not something convenient for them. So we wanted to assist them with that. Although there is something else that I did learn.
What's that?
The CDPHE will now solely be using financial information for people who want to apply for the state fee waiver. So you would have to go to the Department of Revenue and acquire a document that shows your financial situation. There is a form called zero income form that said basically if you did not file taxes the previous year, you can acquire that form, and from there use that to apply for the medical marijuana registry and get the $35 state fee waiver.
Yeah, Scott from Rare Dankness just stopping in here for a second.
What's up,
here.
bro?
Hold on, I get that mic on or whatever.
What's going on?
You can even sit down if you want and talk with us about this patient thing here, because you yourself is a patient too. And one of the situations that I keep telling here on the show is that a situation from a friend up in Northwest Colorado. By the way, all the headphones work right. That one day it was just that one funkiness.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
Cool. One day is that the patient up in Northwest Colorado, a friend of mine that was just sick. I'm pretty sure had cancer. Just couldn't get their meds, and it was just this ridiculous set of rules that was between them and their meds. When it's like they could probably go down the street. We probably ended up having to go down the street, get maybe less quality of meds. It's ridiculous. And on that same note, I think we'll see a fix towards the whole issue, of the recommendation and stuff. But I mean, Scott, you as a patient, I mean, and knowing what you've gone through, that's, dude, like,
yeah, any type of weight is just punishment. It's just punishment to the patient.
And honestly, do you care? Probably at that point in time. I mean, you care enough in that. What's that right there? Oh, you got some. Oh, what is that? Dude, that just looks like awesomeness right there is what that
Next level stuff right there.
Oh my goodness. Wow, I smell it. Whoa. For the people that aren't in this room, I feel very bad for you right now. This has got a little OG smell to it.
It's got a lot of OG smell to it, man.
I take it that's the OG one.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Oh, yeah. But no, I mean, and you don't care. You don't care at that point in time that there's any rules. I mean, and I'm trying to be cool here and say, and people are trying to follow the rules, but also at the same time we're dealing with people's lives, their livelihood.
Yeah, man. I mean, to make anybody that's suffering from chronic pain or somebody that's going through chemo, have to wait to go get your meds is just cruel and unusual punishment,
Yeah.
I just heard of a case just recently in Scotland where a lady over there was growing, and she had MS or something like that, and they arrested her, and she committed suicide while she was in prison because it was, so much, she was in so much pain. It was so hard for her.
Yeah.
And apparently they're loosening the med laws over there specifically because of this case.
Yeah, it wouldn't. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, here's the thing too. We talk about. I mean, there's so many different ailments that marijuana can help. I mean, just so many different ailments, and to have it just a roadblock in front of any of them is ridiculous. Stress, the sleeplessness, stress and anxiety, I guess, go in the same hand in hand. But like, I mean, for somebody to be even able to function on a daily basis, the ability that marijuana gives that person, and the science out there that is there for it, it's just incredible. It's absolutely just mind blowing. When you sit down and you think about it. Mm-hmm. But then we just have to still sit and face that, whatever it is, man. It's the people that are sitting on their couch saying, "Oh, it'll never happen to me. I'm not that worried about it. I can get my medicine. I'm not worried about it," or whatever it is. That complacency. That's the word that I was looking for. Is just that ridiculous complacency. So, but
frustrating, no doubt about that. And it's also frustrating for me when I look at the CDPHE, because the people, as far as individuals that I've had the chance to talk to and get to know, they're supportive of it. With internally, the employees are supportive of medical marijuana.
Yeah.
They sounds like they got the internet and they read.
the board.
It's what they need to stop shooting themselves in the foot from preventing people such as you, our listeners, and you and I, and patients from hating them, is a advisory committee made up of people from within the industry and patients. Similar, no different than the Department of Revenue has. That way they can make their reaction with those rejections and denials were all knee-jerk. They said, "Oh my gosh, we just found out about this. Here's a knee-jerk reaction. We're going to put a clamp down on everything." If they had an advisory committee, they would have been able to actually see this problem and be able to deal with it.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
And it was really, the knee-jerk reactions that the CDPHE has had with
lot of
think
stuff.
since the beginning. It's frustrating. I started up the show with saying that, they're not our friends, because they're not. They've tried to decimate the medical marijuana system many, many times. And why? I don't get it. It's just like it's the board, because you talk about. And this is like this with anywhere. You walk into a building and every office worker inside this building is going to be for medical marijuana or for marijuana. But then when you go and you talk to the heads, you talk to the bosses, you talk to the political quote unquotes, they got to give a certain statement, and we're still kind of stuck in that. And I think that's where that tail end is still coming out. And so we're seeing that still, frustratingly.
Very much so, and
especially with this with a health board, because they got to be extra, super political correct about it, because you're smoking and they forget about ingesting and, dude, it's serious. If it weren't, and the fact that Scott's here is awesome coincidence in leading on to this. If it weren't for a fact that we had the access to the medicine that we do, just my own personal story of like, here's the light side of things. Okay, well, maybe not the light side of like migraines and severe pain that you get with that, but maybe migraines and anxiety, it's helped me just enormously. It's been this just almost miracle drug, you could say, and for a lot of people it has been this miracle drug. And compared to the other medications, and compared to the other crap that you face and you look at, it's just, I wouldn't be able to function on a daily basis without having to have something in my life. And I'm, and I hate to say that honestly, but maybe some people get to that point in time, and I hope at some point to be able to say, I don't need anything to function, or I don't need this or that.
No different than when you have a prescription for XYZ medication and you say, all right, I'm over my ailment, and I don't need to take this anymore.
Both for pain and for anxiety, and they're two different things even too, because the pain thing, people get stuck with pain their entire life, and say they have a back problem or whatever the issue is that they've gone through in their life, they get stuck with that. Or it's just, maybe it could be a mental issue that's a short period of time that you're going through that you can get out of, and luckily that is the fact that you might be able to get out of that.
What was it?
Is it
You've got a squirrel chilling out there.
the squirrel's chilling watching
He's right there watching you, man.
Squirrel's watching the show.
Agreeing with you, man. It's just like, I hear you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and jump up this branch.
Nice. Love it. So yeah, man, it's just crazy, the situation with it, and I'm glad there is now an answer to this situation, and people can turn to a group like yourself. And so where can people head to get more information about yourself and more about like the getting help with assistance in renewing their cards and from the rejections?
So if any patient got a rejection or a denial, they can head over to MMAPA MMAPA+Denver.us. And right at our homepage, we have links for what to do if you got a rejection letter or what to do if you got a denial letter. And from there, you can also visit, if you were seen by Mobile Doctors of America, you can also receive a free medical marijuana evaluation if you got a rejection letter or a denial letter, to make sure that you can get squared away and that you can visit the Department of Health should you want to appeal your case and show that you were a legitimate patient. You know, it's frustrating because I've seen denial letters for a coworker who has an incurable disease. But they wrote on the form was written where they said it was an incurable disease and they had chronic pain. But for some, again, the NPPA situation got them a denial.
Or there's a date missing on it or something. You know, like I got mine back, I think the second time when I went to go renew, because it was just missing. There was one date that was missing out of this form. And I mean, it is important that we get the forms right and follow everything. But I mean, with people that have AIDS, cancer, these other illnesses that they're unable to get rid of. It's like, the severe pain issues that somebody's gonna have their whole life is like, all right,
just give them a break.
Yeah, seriously. And we also need to form and I don't know what the concerns with this is. I think in Washington they developed. I got y'all to look. I'm trying to focus. In Washington they got, I think, a program now that's a 2-year card program. I think here in Colorado we need to have something that's like that. That's a 2 to 5 year program that you can get into as if you're an AIDS patient or you're a cancer patient or you've
glaucoma, something that ain't going away.
Something's not going away. Like or with Derek, where with him and him falling and hurting his back, whatever it is. I mean, if you've got a prescription for these horrible, Vicodin and these other Percocet, these other drugs that they're like recalling but still using, because we can't get out of our American system, and these new the way they've had to do these new. I think there's a new. I don't know the whole delivery system, but they've had to change something. I think with pills and stuff, and they've had them recalled. And if we can have that, why can't we have cannabis? Bottom line is where I was going with all that. Jesus.
I think that we can hit that point at every statement at the end of every sentence.
It's scary though that I want to get to the bottom of the pill thing, my own personal quest of just education and stuff. But I think there's they're trying to prevent people from like crushing up and snorting.
Yeah, they put something in the coating on them now that if you if you bust it up, makes it inoperable.
It makes it into a jelly or something. Yeah, if you do it, that's ridiculous. So, for someone like myself, that like say, I mean, my Excedrin. Like I was told by my neurologist, like take, not to take the 2 necessarily. Maybe take a half of one or one
and chew it up.
To chew it up, man.
Yeah, dude.
And
come on, kids. Come on. What
and
the
this
hell?
is a neurologist telling you this, man.
Yeah,
and if I keep doing that my entire life, if I keep chewing Excedrins, 1 or 2 Excedrins,
makes my stomach hurt just thinking about it.
Going to have, and it could be probably the problem that I do have with my kidneys being coated with calcium, like I have.
Oh, awesome.
Like you go and I get imaging, and I found out, when I had to have a kidney stone removed, they tried to take the imaging, and there was just like, the image was white because it's just
calcium
coated with calcium. So what's that going to lead to? And what happens if that starts to break up? I mean, the pain that I went through, that was wow, mamma jamma, dude. The ladies at the hospital said that passing a kidney stone is worse than childbirth.
Yeah,
comparable to childbirth.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Growing
growing up on sweet tea, Southerners are prone to those things.
And I've been fortunate in my life. I get and here lately, I'm gonna take a more positive outlook in my life. Hugely, I have to because just anxiety and all this stuff that I'm going through. But I've been lucky enough to have so far a good health outlook, and I don't want to waste that time, and I would encourage everybody else out there, and with everything that you're doing, when we talk about health and going out and getting your card, and we go all the way from AIDS and cancer and these other stresses to just making sure you take care of yourself on the daily. Make sure you're mentally. When I went through my whole process of probation and after getting busted and stuff, man, I let myself get really off track, and there was a few crutches that I had in my life, like the ex-girlfriend and little kid and stuff, that went away. And then when those went away, like all of a sudden I found myself like, holy crap, like I really thought I was okay, and I'm not. Not at all. So, I've got to go and get that fixed. So I encourage everybody, not only to take care and manage yourself, and, it's easy to get caught up in this I'm okay attitude, but it's also easy to get caught up in this industry of recreational, of like it's maintaining itself, but it's not. It's just like with everything else, if you go and you get a pill and you have to take it for anxiety or something, and maybe you might need to sit down and talk with someone in order for that pill to completely work itself out. It's not just like it's not a perfect fix for everybody, but it could be if you really want it to be. I don't know. That's the only way that I have that for that stuff. So anyway, that's working in my own personal life and everything that's going on here. So it's interesting times, man. And make sure that people check out raredankness.com. We were talking earlier about make sure that if you have a dispensary to get your seeds, get in with Rare Dankness, because the seeds are going to be available here soon. They've probably already locked in. And can a new dispensary?
It's pretty. I mean, we're still letting people get on board, but it's pretty insane watching the seeds disappear.
That's beautiful, though, dude.
It is.
I'm happy for you, dude. This is great because I see success.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
And then we got medical marijuana assistance program. I always want to call you guys. I'm always stuck on medical marijuana assistance program of the Rockies.
Well, it doesn't hurt that, or it doesn't help that everything I have is from the old school days.
But that's good is you guys have grown. Medical marijuana assistance program of America, and if people would like to get a hold of you and would like to get a hold of your doctors, like to figure out how they can get some help with this situation, where do they go again?
They can go to MMAPA.us.
MMAPA.us. And also that Roaring 20s, we'll talk about it a little bit more next week too, and fill people in on more what's going to be happening.
Ganja Gala?
Yeah, the Ganja Gala. We'll just remind people about it. But it's January 27th, and if you would like to, what's that website that they can go to find out more information about that?
Making life simple, ganjagala.com.
I don't think you could get more simple than that.
We try. We know we're a forgetful bunch.
Have you heard about this?
The gala? No, I haven't. I'm so out of the loop. It's like California, Spain,
Dude,
Poor bastard.
and then the Denver
poor
Comp
guy.
for 420. So.
Dude, the Spain thing is that's a whole nother thing that I'm excited for you on, man. I hope we get to see you. You're not just sitting on a
Get
beach.
over there and just like say, screw you guys, I'm not coming home.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I might have to follow you, dude. I'm gonna have to follow you over there or something.
Yeah, I was trying to like tell all my friends who was going to be running what. I'm like, all right, dude, you're in charge of the Cali section. You're going to be in charge of Colorado. I'm just going to go to Spain. And Pamela's like, well, what am I doing? I'm like, you got to handle all the Spanish shit.
You'd be coming with me. No, so yeah, dude, I'm gonna go get my card, dude. I gotta get I gotta get everything taken care of, but the blue card, the employee card.
Your badge.
Really, I want to have my badge, man, employee badge, be able to, come in, be able to not have any issues, mainly do the John Doe Radio Show, but also come in and maybe help and learn some breeding stuff. With Rare Dankness, TH seeds. Some of the dispensaries. I want to learn how to make this oil, be able to have access to the laboratories and stuff like that. That's not oil, though. That's
Plasma.
plasma.
Nice.
Beautifulness is what it is. It's just
Yeah, man. You move it too fast, it breaks. You touch it, it turns to oil. At room temperature, it bends like taffy. That's
Nice.
plasma.
Nice.
Nice.
You've brought in twice the past week, and I've seen stuff like that, but the smell is just insane. Twice.
Yeah.
Last week you brought in the stuff at the end. I don't even know if we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, that moonshine haze.
I don't even think
Wax.
I think you busted it out after
I
the
didn't
show.
even see it, so I know you talked about it after the show.
Yeah, like it was something that was not even.
It was
Yeah.
like
It
trying
changed-
to talk to me about it, and I was like, "What are you talking
You
about?"
changed my mind completely on that it has to be an oil with that product.
Yeah, man. Well, I've changed my mind a couple of times myself just
Crazy.
through talking to people, and we have so many great extract people in the state that
Yeah.
none of them really like sharing their information with each other.
And everybody's right.
But everybody will like talk to me a little bit. So like I take bits and pieces of what everybody does and, try to figure it out, make my own way.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the waxies, man, but I mean, it is what it is. As long as it's just not this acrid, like weird smell, when it smokes or whatever to it, then I usually go for it. But honestly, man, concentrates are all that I've gotten so far into, making sure that I my wellness or whatever with my headaches and stuff. Like concentrates are really the only thing that I mess around with, because I mean the flower is just. I mean, flower is recreational to me. It is, because I mean, when I smoke it, it's to enjoy the flavor, the taste, the awesomeness of it, and I really risk running into a headache if I smoke. And I've over the years come to say, okay, fine, you really risk running into a headache if you smoke. I've denied it, for years. But I've also had to learn with
man. Something that's not flushed well, something that's not grown well, I mean, definitely it's going to bust out a head throbber immediately.
And there's a difference between smoking concentrates and smoking flower. Let me just make that clear too, because I mean, I still do smoke, but it's
tiny amount.
The concentrates, and it's not including that other stuff that's with it. And
the concentrates are what I was actually able to use for my pulmonary hypertension, but.
Yeah, I've slowly kind of, I won't say I weaned myself away from flowers, but I've noticed that for my own personal sake, I definitely go to the concentrates a lot more. And I think just simply from the cleanliness of how it leaves my glass, man. You smoke flowers, your glass is always black. You smoke concentrates, you might have a little golden tinge to it, and that's it.
Yeah. And I mean, the older I get and the more I start thinking about my health and stuff, the more I really, really, really do. I mean, I got into this whole John Doe Radio medical marijuana thing to help people feel a little bit more better about their choice to use medical marijuana and whatever. Dude, that
stuff reeks, huh?
Yeah, it's stanky. Whatever the choice is, But as the more and more I deal with my issues on the side, and the more and more that I see people and hear of people's stories, I mean, I am focused on this medical marijuana thing, and I am focused on the best product, focused on using medical marijuana to help myself as much as possible, because it is something that's just hugely medical that we could all be using. I can't even say enough about it. I don't even know what else to say about it. I'm rambling on like an idiot here.
I'm just so happy now that, I guess kind of to coincide with my patient article in Kush magazine this month. Now they're
we'll
talking
talk about that
the
when it comes out.
Benefits actually of marijuana and lungs. It's not actually harmful to your lungs.
Yeah, that's another story that we need.
It's huge.
Yeah, we need to hit that story tomorrow on the review, on the news review, and coming out and saying that smoky marijuana is not necessarily
harmful to your lungs.
Yeah, it's like
I
weird.
actually cured a lung disease.
It's weird.
With the use of
Really?
MMJ and oxygen.
Well, pulmonary hypertension. And
it's an incurable disease unless you have a double lung transplant.
And it's not just necessarily with smoking that causes it or whatever. I mean, it's the painkillers and other things that can help cause it too.
My mom is suffering from that right now.
Is she?
She is.
I was actually in the emergency room last Friday, and they did my saturation. I wasn't on any oxygen, and I was sat at 95.
Really?
And that's high for a healthy person in Colorado. So
and you know what's so frustrating
like,
is
they're like
the pain, like serious painkillers, man, and like where my attention has been drawn with that, and like is that at night when you're sleeping, you're not able to like breathe in completely and breathe out. You could, because you're on such serious painkillers for so long. That's a scary situation. Just having to take a Vicodin and then a little niblet of a sleeping pill or whatever, just the way that makes my body feel or whatever, man. Like I can't imagine, man, having to just get used to this kind of situation and then taking pill after pill and pill in a cancer situation, just having to go through the regimen that you would have to in that, man. It's a mental warfare. It is. A lot of things in life are mental warfare, and I give huge kudos to everybody out there that's just working through it and trying to be positive. So, anyway.
Definitely.
That's all I got for today. Going to make sure that we also tell people about Compassionate Pain Management. Make sure you guys head out to either their spot in Louisville or Lakewood. You can call them in Louisville, 303-665-5596, or in Lakewood, 303-232-3620. They care about, speaking about people that situations, caring about your management and just making sure that you take care of yourself. These people specialize not only in cannabis, but also lymphatic drainage, therapeutic massage, hot stone massage, just a few options available. So check them out at 1585 Quail Street, number 13B. That's in Lakewood, and 1116-7 1116-7 West Dillon Road.
And I love those guys. So Joey Gindy and also his brother Sean are pretty fantastic guys, and they get it. And that's what I love about them. They've been awesome supporters of the MMAPA program. So, yeah those guys, they got a great staff over there.
I think we'll go talk with them in a minute. Yeah, so, make sure you check them out. CPM. All right. Also, big thanks to Rare Dankness and Scott for stopping in. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, for all your support and everything. Hopefully you're feeling better. Heard you had a migraine.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just the extra stress of work now or weather changing frequently, what's going on. But I've had 2 in like the last 15 days, and that's pretty unusual for me.
Really? Man, I hear that.
Hope you get better sooner rather than
and
later.
they're the type that like you kind of feel them before you go to bed, and you get asleep before it hits on, and then wakes you up at 2 or 3 in the morning, just killing you.
There are times where I just feel a tinge, and I just know, man.
Know what's coming. Yeah,
I know I got to do something, and I usually end up.
I've gone to the chiropractor a couple times. We're trying to get worked out.
Yeah, but right at that moment, when you're ready to fall asleep, you're like, it's like I usually end up chewing up half an Excedrin because usually I know.
See, I try to OD on Benadryl. Like 2-3 Benadryls.
And that sucks that situation is that like
it's bad for you.
When we unlock this cannabis plant and everything, all the tools that are involved in it, there's going to be something in there that'll address that, man. That's the frustrating part, man. I want to live.
I'm telling you, man, if we'd all gone and approached this at the other end and started with suppositories instead of smoking, there'd be no problem with it.
No, there wouldn't.
I don't think the party atmosphere would be there, though.
Oh, it would. It would.
Let's not go there. That could get into its own funky situation.
Damn, I'm scarred. Can't unsee.
But seriously, there are that is a serious situation to even think about for somebody. I mean, I can't even.
Dude, I'm talking about high times. Us doing the med cup. I'm gonna be the only one with the suppository entry this year.
And you'll probably be the only one there, like you said. But Flower of Life. I think her name is Brittany over there. She had, and they're over in Boulder. Had a fantastic article about in Cannabis Health News magazine about the use of suppositories.
That's what it was. That's where I saw that one.
Yeah,
I maybe heard.
We
had
a dude. We actually had a dude come in Stone Mountain like back in 2009 when I used to run that place and like dropped one off. And,
dude, it'll probably.
And we tried to give it to like 15, 20 different patients. Like, tell us how this works. And
that's cool, bro.
If it's made wrong, it could probably be a pretty interesting situation. You could probably like mess yourself up, be pretty uncomfortable. But if it's made right, dude, I mean, one of the best ways of delivery.
Yeah,
it's one of the.
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to, and Kim just brought it completely to a serious point. And cancer patients, someone who can't keep anything down. I mean, this is, and not to mention the delivery system in that area. And I know this is an uncomfortable topic for people to talk about, but it's
medical, man. It's medical, dude.
It's one of the best areas for delivery system in the body because of the tissue down there is soft tissue, the mucous membrane, and everything. And it's you don't start realizing these things.
Well,
until,
you know you're sick and you're throwing up hard when you beg somebody to bring you a suppository. You know, like,
and you don't realize these things, and you know the people cringe or whatever, and you don't realize these things till you have to go through them.
Yep,
And
exactly.
you're like, thank goodness certain things are around or whatever, and I'm not even talking about suppositories, just anything. You thank goodness it's there, you know, at the time that you need it. So, all right, good times.
Moving on.
Ending the show on suppositories. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with us. Miguel and Christine Lunsford earlier with the NCIA and all the goodness that she's got going on, and we'll talk about the gala coming up here, and then next week it's on the 27th. Make sure if you missed anything on the John Doe Radio Show, you head over to johndoeradio.com, and we're going to have, make sure you check out Scott at raredankness.com, and hopefully we get to sample some of this before you leave. Maybe or maybe not. Could be.
Got to put it on something cold, man.
Might or might not.
Oh, nice license.
I came through unscathed. Thank
Nice.
you, Jesus.
We got an idea about, like,
Natty Rams, huh?
All praise be to Allah. I'm glad that you got it.
we got an idea.
Tax exempt is nice too.
Ah, fantastic.
We got an idea about the card holders there, too. So maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but she's got an idea.
When did they start doing that?
When you send in your food stamps or your
Oh, okay. Well, that's really cool. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah, when you get your card back, it now says
See, I have my MMAPA
tax
card
exempt
too.
on it.
Shows I'm
So,
broke.
Yeah. Nah. All right. Anyway, make sure you tune with us tomorrow. Hopefully, we have William Breathes and Steve Elliott on the show. It is, man, I'm like missed the day. I'm stuck. It's a Friday tomorrow. Snowed like crazy yesterday. It feels like still we're in this little snow wonderland in Colorado. Anyway, thanks to everybody for checking us out. Anybody else with anything?
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate the help and support, and yeah, thank you.
Cool. Good times. And Scott and Phil and Kim, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Have yourselves a good afternoon until we meet again tomorrow. I'm your host, John Doe. See ya.
The John Doe Radio Show is produced by Charlie Stash Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited by information on agriculture subjects and is intended as informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Rights.
Listening to anyone but your mother is just plain stupid.
We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
John Doe Radio.
Radio.